Welcome back, YouTube fans. We're doing Figma number 366, the Fate Grand Order ruler, Jeanne of Arc. This is another character from the Fate Stay Night mythos. Grand Order is a mobile game of the Fate series, which, like most mobile games, has you collecting cards which are characters in the game. Ruler here is a Saber-class servant, but she's called ruler because of her role. She basically is the referee. You see, in the Fate Apocrypha series, which is an unofficial, well, not really unofficial, but uncanon story of the Fate Stay Night series, instead of the Third Holy Grail War getting going again like it normally was, the Grail mechanism was stolen and hidden for years. When it was activated, not one set of 7 servants was summoned, but 2, referred to as the Red and the Black servants. Both sides, it's hard to say if either side is good. There are members of it that are good, certainly some of the servants are, but there's a whole smattering of different servants, including ones that are from mythologies that we don't see as much in the Fate Stay Night series. But basically to administer over the war is the ruler class servant, Jeanne of Arc, who has the power to basically defeat any of them. Basically, judge, jury, and executioner, if necessary, of the series. And it's interesting because she has to possess someone because of the screwiness that goes on with that series. I won't get into exactly what it is because that would spoil the surprise of anyone. Because this series is actually on Netflix at the moment. I don't know about the future and if it will still be there, but it has been translated into English and dubbed. So if you are curious, this is a really good series. You should definitely check it out if you have the chance. But let's get to the unboxing, shall we? Now, one thing that I will note is that this one is one with a double-layered package job. See? The reason for this is she fights primarily with her flagpole weapon. Her sword is used as a last resort because it's a suicide weapon. Since Joan of Arc was burned to death at the stake, this burns her, but it also burns her enemies. So it's a suicide weapon. So she doesn't get to use it that often. Which kind of annoys me because I kind of like this sword design. The rapier kind of blade of it, it looks really cool. It's kind of some combination between a traditional one-handed long sword, I think, and a rapier hilt. It just looks really cool, and I'm a little disappointed that they didn't do more with it. But, you know, what can you do about these things? Anyway, here's her unfurled flag, which looks like it's a modification of one of the command spells, the default one that Shiro gets in the original series. And it's crossed with, I think, some French design artwork. I'm not really sure. Anyway, as you can see, Jeanne of Arc here has a very long braid of hair. It's got several twisting points here, so good articulation options there. That's one problem I have with some of the Figmas and figures I've seen, is they'll make the hair static, not movable at all, and it gets in the way frequently. Because, unfortunately, some of these things I think are designed without the hair piece in mind, and they get really stuck for where they can move. I've had a few like that. But anyway, so as we can see, I like the detail work on these, especially the arms here. They've got 2 layers of design work there. This piece of plastic here. There we go. She's got a double layered of that soft plastic, so be careful of that stuff in the sun. Don't want to leave it near any windows where it will get any solar damage. UV rays are a killer for figures. So we've got her there. Sorry, Jeanne. So, and the traditional bag for the accessories. the extra hands as well as the stand parts. And of course, her rapier / one-handed longsword. Pretty good. I also like that they stopped putting tape on these things. They used to tape these together. Instead, they're using a small indentation on the plastic here to keep the two sides of this together. A much improved way to do it, because otherwise it's just a pain to undo. Let's see. Looks like they also added a metal pin here inside the flagpole. Anyway, I'll worry about putting the tip on. I'm just a little worried about doing that before I look more closely. I worry I'll break those kinds of things. But there we have the figure in general. The box is pretty nice with the standard display shot of what she looks like in several action poses on the top here. And the side shots, of course. But otherwise, it's your pretty standard box. Yeah. From what I can see here, this part pops out. Yep. So it's got a steel pin in it. So the flag can be unraveled at any time. You put the little tassels here on the outer edge. That's where they're supposed to be. Not going to push too hard on that. I don't want to risk breaking it, because I worry about some of these things sometimes, just how sturdy they are. So this thing upside down. There's a little indentation here. It's supposed to slot in here, I would assume. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Yeah, be careful of that. One of the things I always worry about these figures is if I'm doing something a little too hard and I might break them. Anyway. Sometimes I also wonder if they actually put too much paint or something. So there we have the flag. Nice, big, little worried about how sturdy this piece is. Might want to be careful when you're putting it together. But there we also have her hands and the stand, of course. Doesn't look like they gave much in the way of hands. I only see the default 6 here, so she only has 8 total. But then again, she's going to be gripping her flag in most settings, or her sword, so I doubt we're going to need too many hands. Still, it's a little down there, considering a lot of the more recent figures I've gotten have had a lot of hands. But either way. And her pinholes in the back, of course. I like that one for most figures, this one included, because unfortunately I just feel that these things just won't stand up if you put them too low, but sometimes it might be better. Either way, that's the figure, as you can see. And once you add in the flag, the sword, it comes with just this hilt piece, so you can just slot it in here. No need to put a whole sword inside, because otherwise it would be, just too delicate. Which I think is the better option with these. A blade this thin, the sheath just would be too thick around the edges to fit it in. I've had better ones done with the saber ones, but those swords are also quite a bit thinner than this one's hilt. So, I'm not really sure. But either way, that's the figure in a nutshell. It looks pretty good, I think. Definitely a good addition to my collection. She's got her angry yelling face and her blushing, embarrassed face for, you know, whatever, and her normal face right here. Overall, I think this is a good figure. Definitely a plus for my collection. And it's definitely an interesting design. I don't think I have ones quite like this, especially with the design of her armored skirt piece. There are other ones I have, but they're usually like much longer. None of them part the side like this. That's a definite new one for me. The only other one that's close is Archer's, which is kind of a duster more than just a skirt because he's a guy. Either way, I think this is a really cool figure. Definite plus for anyone's collection. So please like, subscribe, comment below, and share this video with your friends. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!